So Uniworld, do you remember your first Uniworld sailing? Was it the sailing you met Brett on?
Yeah, no. So my very first sailing was actually, it was the River Royale, and it was in 2006, and she was the inaugural of that ship, and she was in Bordeaux, and no, she wasn't. She was in Lyon. She's now in Bordeaux, and I remember going on board, and actually none of the Tolmans were there. It was a gentleman who was running the companies who I met. I was invited as because I worked for American Express to go see this ship, and my husband and I went on it. We just thought it was so super cool. Like right away, I loved it because I loved how small it was, and you never had to worry about anything. And it was really cool because that ship then became the super ship Bon Voyage, and we moved it over to Bordeaux. So I actually got to christen that ship 2 years
Oh
ago.
wow.
So my first ship to go on River Royale, and then I got to christen that ship. So I feel like it was kind of meant to be. So everything does happen for a reason, Dan.
I mean, do you ever think about that progression or that journey, like from being an Amex on that riverboat now to christening a new ship, christening that same ship? I mean,
Yeah.
do you
No,
take do you take time? I guess the question is, do you take time to reflect on the
I
career?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, and I pinch myself, and I like I say sometimes I'm like, gosh, am I the luckiest person alive, or am I smart? Am I creative? I think it's got to be a combination of all those things because, like I said before, even at Amex when I was a frontline travel agent, I then became a pace setter, which you get to go on this trip and you get this award. I then got to host pace setters when I was at Amex.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So, and I used to every year I hosted it, I would bring my award with me, and I still have my award in my office. So it's like, and I would bring it to it, I'd hold it up and say, I get it. I get how important this day is. That you earned this because I earned it one time, and not many executives can say that.
Yeah, and I imagine that comes with a level of respect too from the people you're speaking about, because you were in their shoes.
Right. No,
Yeah.
it does help, and especially
Yeah.
talking to travel advisors, they really appreciate that I get what they're going through. I think when we're putting out promotions and things, when I joined, I saw that we were putting out a different promotion like every week, and you're bombarding them. They can never remember that. So we actually have streamlined it. We literally do two big promotions a year. That's it. And they run
Okay.
for long periods of time because you cannot expect people to remember all this stuff. And otherwise, if it's too complicated, they're not going to sell it. You got to keep it simple.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point too. And I guess the promotion thing. I mean, if you know another promotion's coming next week, maybe you're not super concentrated on the one that's in your mailbox right now.
Correct. Exactly.
I'm also curious because I mean, your journey in travels. So you told me you grew up in Washington State, and then I know you mentioned New York, and I assume with the big cruise lines brought you to Florida.
Right.
Now
Moved me
you're in
down.
LA.
Right, correct. Yeah. So I moved down to Fort Lauderdale with my job at Silver Seas. I actually could walk to the office. Lived so
No.
close. I lived in a little area called Rio Vista, and I was right there right there, right downtown Fort Lauderdale. And then we had to move to LA, and that was a big deal. My daughter, my youngest at the time, was a sophomore in high school, so kind of a big deal to move someone in the middle of their
Yeah.
high school year. But it was very funny when it's a family. I said, look, I don't have to take this job right now. I love the job I have. I'm doing great. And you know what? Something else will come along when she's out of school. And she said to me, no way, Mom, I want to move to California because I want to meet the Kardashians. So I think she really thought she was going to meet the Kardashians. But no, she was all for it. I'm very lucky. My kids are very outgoing and super, very supportive of me, as is my husband. Honestly, you can't, big part of my success is as they help me to be that. You can't, it's hard to do it all.